they just said go. And so this is the first run for the women's race. Um, Going through, we don't have to watch all the runs here since this was pre-recorded. We can skip ahead to each of the
Do we want to see
stations.
anybody's form or anything, or what do you
I
see?
mean, we can see
Is
if
this
they
even
run
them?
by.
Where are they?
No, so you can see one of the things I like to look at during the courses is how crowded is the running lane. It looks like they're doing a pretty good job of keeping slower runners out of the fast lane, except for at those corners there. And that's pretty typical. Like around the corners, they get congested because people try to cut in. Um, so let's see coming up. If I see any of the women that are uh, part of this pro women's race, I'll let you know. Looks like there's one of the women running. They try to run with them, but they don't get the camera on her.
You
Not
running
sure
barefoot?
who that is. No, it looks like she has these light tan shoes on.
Oh, I can see. I was joking.
Yeah. Oh, so the course has some left and right turns. It's a little zigzag-ish. Uh, Probably not great for super fast runs. And from what you told me, is it's actually a 4 lap course. I thought it was a 3 lap, but it sounds like it's a 4 lap course.
We're gonna have Graham joining us shortly for the women's as well, and he can confirm.
Okay. You're good. That would be good to have somebody that was on the ground there, determining,
Do you want to
some
fast
of what we're
forward to
looking at.
the? You want to just go ahead and get to
Yeah.
the?
So we'll go to the skierg. Uh, put a couple here. They're waiting at the in arch. So I assume they're coming. We'll look at it. Here's the first lady into the skierg. Um, and over
Did
here
she
on this
just
side, I
did
have
she just turn it on? What was that? Did you see
what'd she
that?
do?
It looked
Did she
like she
press it?
just messed with the. I don't know. Do you set the damper or something down there?
Yeah, so the damper's on the bottom, and then there's the display if
Do
it's
you
not
see
on.
that?
So
See, look,
yeah,
they're
so
all
they're
doing
they're
it.
changing the damper. They don't like where it's at. It's preset for women to a 6. But so on the first rocks in, the lady that's in first right now in the pink shirt, that is Caroline Vrieden of Germany. Uh, Based on the splits here, it looks like her first run was a 3:41. Uh,
Is it just me, or is she not going all the way up?
yeah, I mean, she's kind of shorting her stroke a little, it looks like. Uh, See how her hands aren't actually getting above her head?
No,
Continual
you are the
plunge.
head coach of the hybrid engine. What would you tell this young lady?
Uh, for right now, it'd be get your arms up, get a long stroke on the skier. I like on the ergs to use as much of that range of motion as possible. So this girl, this is, I believe, Bonnie Lohman. Looked like she was skiing at about a 158 to 2 minute pace. Um, so yeah, on the skier, usually you want to use as much of the distance as you possibly can. So just like on the rower, you know how if you're taller or you weigh more, you can get a stronger pull because it's a machine. You can get a stronger pull, you produce more power. And the longer your stroke is, the more you get out of each stroke. So it looks like they're shortening their strokes a little. Not all of them. Some of them are reaching up there, and it looks pretty good. That girl that's in third, man, she's ripping that thing down.
But I just want to go back to this damper thing before. I've never seen any of the pro women do it, and looks like they all did it.
So everybody has their own preference on that, where they want it set to. It really is just preference. So there's something called your drag factor with the Concept 2 uh, machines. Your drag factor is one of the more important pieces that you want to get right because where the damper is just allowing more air in to slow the fan down, or it's closing it off so that it's in its own cycle. And so if you ever get like an erg coach, they're gonna usually help you figure out what your drag factor is, and based on your own pull and your own strength, how the damper can be set for you. And you can change it too for yourself, depending on the distance you're going and whether you're going for calories or for meters. Um, so you don't always want to just jack the damper up all the way to a 10, and you don't want to have it all the way down to 1. Usually sitting somewhere in between. And it could be different. I know super strong guys that snatch 300 pounds and row with a damper on a 3, and it works for them. And I know other people who, uh, they aren't as strong, or they're really strong and they want to have their damper on an 8 because it's better for them.
Do you still
So,
see the screen, by the way?
yeah, I see the screen. Do you not?
No, I do. I had to open another window, and I didn't know if everyone's going to see that or not. So
Well, what do you? We're not direct to YouTube, so this is the only screen, right?
no, I hope so. We'll find out later for sure.
Okay. I'm going to skip ahead to when they start coming. Oop, too much. So here's the first girl. Caroline is the first one off the skier. So
We know for
Caroline
a
comes
fact
off
that's
the
we know for a
skier.
fact that we know for a fact that's
Yep.
Caroline.
Yep. She was the pink shirt. So Caroline was the first one off the skier. Second one off, that's Bonnie Loman. Um, Third one that comes off should be Agata. I can't even begin to pronounce her name. Agata Pietrozek Domorodska.
Nailed it.
And then the fourth one off will be Hannah Burgon. There you go. So they're off. It looks like, based on their ski in and ski out times, that Caroline skied about a 4:24. So with the run and everything else, 4:24, you're probably looking at like a 2:07 average per 500 for her. And then the second girl out was Bonnie Loman. She had a 4:20. So 4:20, probably about a 2:05 average. And so they're out. They're on their second run right now. Can't tell who that is. Maybe that's that Bonnie girl. I didn't see if the other girl passed her or not. But it looks like we're running with her now. So that one, Bonnie Loman, she's German, and she has a previous best HYROX score of about a 1 hour, 13 minutes, 40 something seconds, 47, 1 hour, 13, 47, I believe. Well, I looked it up before, but I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, this is a weird, curvy
Yeah, they got like a
course.
little jog in there, a little zigzag. So now they're just on the run. Everybody talks about skipping the run. So let's add a minute here on the runs. There's the girl that's in first. That's Caroline. We'll run with her for a minute. I don't have any information on her. I didn't see if she'd participated before. So I don't know if you were able to find her or
What's her name again?
this is Caroline Vrieden.
Yeah, she's the one I could not find. I looked her up on
Okay.
Instagram and the internet, and I could not find her.
Yeah, I don't see anything. So I mean, I don't know. I don't have much info about her, but I could take her name here and let's see if she's ever done a HYROX before. So if we go in here to the search. Nope, this was her first HYROX. She's in the 30. the 34 age. No, this is her second HYROX. She has done one before. He previously scored a 108.06.
Which is better than any of the women here today, right?
That's better than anybody here today is. So looks like she's pushing pretty quick. Looked like they had trouble in like one area of the thing and it kept skipping like this. So looks like Caroline's in first, Bonnie's in second. I mean, to me, it looks like those sleds are moving pretty well. I know we'll get, I believe, Graham on here, and he said they felt heavy, but looking at the women's sleds, and I mean, courses can be different for men and women. The same course can be absolutely different, and also lane to lane, it can be very different. But if we take a look here at the times for the women, so we'll take Caroline, the girl in the pink shirt in lane one right now, who's leading. Overall, she was second and second on the sled push and sled pull. So she goes 256 on her sled push, which there we go. So back to what I was saying, if you compare her time on this course to today, she was a 256 on her sled push, and the Manchester sled push elite 15 women, so the top 15 women in the world, Belle McFarlane had a 208, but Angie Hardez had a 402, Miriam had a 401, Tara Jackson had a 328. So she would have fallen right in the middle. She actually would have fallen in fourth place. So just ahead of Meg Jacoby on her sled push alone, just the sled push time. So it seems to me.
Yeah, now she's moving it pretty good. Look, before, like, they weren't moving it that well.
So it looks like the sleds, at least for the women, are comparable to Manchester or maybe even a little faster than Manchester. But if the feeling of them is a little heavier, you never know what that's going to do to them on the back end of the race. So just because the time is the same might take a little more energy, causing them to lose seconds later on in the race. And so next thing up is going to be the sled pull, but let's just get a split here. There. So what I see is I see 5 plates here, right? At 55 pounds a plate is 265 pounds on top of the sled.
I counted 4 plates.
Well, there's the big rubber one and then 4 metal ones.
Right. So are they including the sled? Because you should know, like, it should be the same for every race, right?
Right. So it sounds like they're including the sled in that weight.
So the women's sled push is 335 pounds.
I mean, if that's what they say,
which is the open men's as
so
well.
That's 70. So that means they're saying the sled itself weighs about 70 pounds. I mean, if they have all the same sleds, it should be the same weight, right? So if the sleds are all the same, then you should only count the weight that's added to the sled.
I'm just looking at their account, and this is what it says. But I'm saying, from what you've heard in the past, like if you look at their FAQ or whatever, that's the weight. Is that the weight? That's 152 for the push and 103 kilograms for the pull.
I mean, it sounds reasonable if that's 265 pounds on the added.
I'm not asking you if it sounds reasonable. I'm asking you a fact here.
Well, the HYROX account only says like what's added to the sled. So I don't know how much the sled weighs. It sounds like you're saying it weighs 70 pounds if that's what they posted. So yeah, if it's 265 on top of a 70-pound sled, That's 335 pounds for the sled push. Um, Going back to this. So coming out of the sled push, it went Caroline. A minute and 4 seconds behind her was Bonnie, and a minute 37 behind Caroline was Hannah Burgon. So right now, those are your top three out in the run after the sled push. Um, they are Germany, and Great Britain. So just based on the women's times alone on the sled, not based on feel, it does look like they're about comparable to Manchester sleds for the push.
So I'm looking at the rule book right now.
Uh-huh.
Women pro sled push 152 kilograms, which is the same that we just said. So that is what it's supposed to be.
So they are definitely adding the weight of the sled into that. So they're saying the total weight of the apparatus is 152 kg,
Right.
which is, what is that one? 304 plus 30. Yeah, so that's 334.4 pounds.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to skip ahead on this a little because they're out on the run and they're just. All right, so it looks like the first female's coming in for her run into the sled pull now. And so if we want to break down what the sled pull for the women in this race versus the women in Manchester, and remember, none of the women coming into this race were part of the Elite 15. So I would expect that their times on these stations would be slower than what you would see in the Elite 15. And for the Elite 15 women in Manchester on the sled pull, it looks like we had times ranging from 3 minutes and 45 seconds with Viola winning that station, all the way to Amte Hardez, who pulled a 5:04. And so this girl just had Caroline, she had the fourth best sled push. If you would have compared it to Manchester, she would have been fourth. And in this one, the sled pull, she ends up pulling a 4:54, which would have been 14th at Manchester. So 14th out of 15. So, I mean, somebody not in the Elite 15 pulling better than one out of the 15, that, I mean, makes a little bit of sense to me. Could be a slow lane, could be a little bit
What do we
slower
think about
than
this
what we would
amazing
expect.
camera angle?
Yeah, not sure. Pretty far away. It's hard to tell who's who. How about that camera guy stepping over the ropes as they're about to pull him?
Do you want to tell this person, like, you can step a little bit closer to the women?
You can go a little closer to him. Yeah, I could see that. One thing I can see from this is that one of the discrepancies in the time might not just be the sleds, but it looks like their technique's a little different.
Are they
Like
doing
that girl's,
the CrossFit way or no?
yeah, she's kind of like she was wrapping her arm up in the rope, is what it looked like, and then pulling back. See how her arms all tangled up in that rope, and they're not clearing the rope behind their feet either. And they're not getting a lot of space to walk back. So, I mean, there's discrepancies in technique, so it might not just be all the sled itself.
Oh, trying to get the
Girls,
crowd into it.
oh,
Love
getting the
it.
crowd into it. Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go. Love it.
So it looks like Caroline has about a sled pull length lead on, I think that's Bonnie in second. It would, the quality of the video coming in and out, it's hard to
What do
tell,
you
but
think it would take to ever get Lauren to do that?
do what?
Do the get the crowd into it, arms.
I probably just have to be feel it have to be probably really quiet in there and nobody saying anything. And I don't know. I'd have to ask her.
Well, I'm saying we've talked about how in the zone she gets. I don't think it would ever happen in a million years. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I will. It's not what she's focusing on when she's racing.
Not her style at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, mostly it doesn't look like the sleds are moving poorly. It kind of looks like it might be the discrepancies between them might just be technique. So Caroline's pulling pretty quick. I think she was second in this race in her sled pull overall time.
Oh, but this looks like in the third lane there, or the second lane, she's wrapping it, taking the full 4 steps back. I mean, I think her form's good.
Yeah, but they don't step all the way back to the line, it doesn't look like. They have these ropes. So these black ropes, they stretch a little bit, especially when it's long and you pull them. They pull a little bit, like get the tension out of the rope before it actually comes. But if you go to Spain and actually in the Middle East race to Dubai, they had the like twine ropes, the ones that are the Manila ropes, and those ones, like as soon as you pull them, you get great feedback right away that you can pull back. Uh, these these look like, you were at Chicago in 2019, right? Like the
Spring of
second or third HYROX in the US.
spring of 2020 was sorry, January
So
2020, right before the pandemic.
so from Miami all the way until the Dallas Invitational and at like late 2020 or maybe even early 2021, we used to have to push and pull 25 full, oops, she almost missed that, 25 full meters at a time instead of 12 and a half down, back, down, back. And when you would do a pull with a 25-meter rope, you'd almost do one full length pull just to get the tension out of the rope.
Right.
That was, I'm glad they changed it to a shorter rope, because when the rope's shorter, it gets easier. So the closer it gets to you, the easier it is to pull. Right. So going out of this station, um, we had Caroline in first coming out of the sled pull. Bonnie Loman is leaving now. She's in second. She's 46 seconds behind Caroline, so she made up about 18 seconds on that station, or on the last station and run, because she was a minute 4 coming out of the sled push. Now she's 46 seconds back. So, and then Hannah Burgon will be in third out of this, but she is 3.5 minutes behind. So it looks like the first two ladies are starting to pull away. Skip ahead a little. Good with that? So he's staying at the sled pull here. The top lady should be getting to the burpees pretty soon. Oh,
there we go.
So yeah, it looks like he's running to catch up to the top ladies at the burpees. He stayed at the sled pull a little too long. Looks like Caroline's already started on the burpees. About 15 to 20 meters done out of the 80. So let's see. This is Bonnie. Oh, she's taking extra steps. You see that, a couple extra steps there.
Oh boy, come on, judges.
Oh,
Come on, judges.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that
the
every
old
time.
shuffle. The old
Ooh,
shuffle.
full shuffle. That's an extra foot and a half at least every time. That could take off two. Wow. That could take off a couple burpees. Maybe somebody told her something right there.
Nope.
Oh, it did it again. Now a judge ran up to her. Oh, still did it.
Nope. Okay, now she's telling her, stop doing that with your feet. She still did it.
She still did it.
And then the judge went away. Oh, still doing it. You're standing
Judge
right
is
there. You're
right there on
watching.
her. It's
Oh,
still happening.
come on, guys. Get it together. See, this is a judge. Okay, now this guy's finally calling her on it. Send her back. That was her first legit one, right?
Yeah, it looked like it.
There we go. Now we got the head
But
judge. Good job, head
do you see
judge.
that? I mean,
Yep.
I don't know if you saw like out of the corner of the screen here. It looks like she's almost caught up to Caroline though.
Well, this guy's got it now. Head Judge McGee here's got it now. Don't
Oh,
walk
she's
away from her.
only
She's going to go back. She's going to slip back into old habits. There you go. Oh, there made it. Did she make it do her again? Yeah. So
I
for those who think we're being mean, we are not. This is what the judge should be doing. The judge should be correcting this person.
did it again. Oh,
Yeah,
judge is telling her she has,
he's got to stay on her.
yeah,
He's just not going to.
has to
Who is
stand.
that? I'm sorry. I got to bring up my photos here.
So the girl in pink is Caroline. The girl that's shuffling is Bonnie.
Come on, Bonnie. We have faith in you. Bonnie Loman with the ponytail.
She's on the right in the black. I don't know. Does she have a ponytail? The girl in pink is Caroline.
You might be wrong about that.
No, the girl in pink is definitely Caroline.
Okay.
The girl in black with the gray top is Bonnie. The one shuffling her feet is Bonnie.
Okay. In the photo I'm looking at of Bonnie, she definitely has a ponytail or braids, rather.
I can't tell, but she's the blonde on the right of the screen here.
Okay. Are you looking at the same photos I am? Is that where your
What's
information is
that?
coming from?
No, I got it off of the first person into this station was Caroline. The second person into this station was Bonnie.
Okay. Now the cameraman's doing his I'm 10 miles away mood again.
Yeah. He's trying to get like full view of everyone, but it's too far away.
And we don't need full view of everyone. You can get a lot
No.
closer and do that. Maybe they said be sure to be nowhere near them.
Yeah,
Maybe he's taking.
the people on the left are part of the doubles teams that's still going, it looks like. But the pink shirt and the girl next to her towards the fencing, the interior fencing there, those are the two in the elite women.
Looks
And now
like
you can
he's really
see,
cracking down here. Now the head
yeah,
judge is really doing his job.
now you can see third and fourth are making their way down on the other side. That's what this far
Oh,
away view is for.
yeah. Oh, all right, good.
Well, she stepped back that time.
All right. Yeah, it's really hard.
No, yeah, I
Burpee
mean,
broad jumps are really fucking hard.
she's trying to do it right. It's probably, it's ingrained in practice. What if you just let yourself get away with that when you're practicing it, you're going to do it in the race.
Yeah, no
So,
one's ever corrected her before, apparently, because it took her
yeah.
muscle memory was like really
Yep.
stuck on doing the
Well,
shuffle.
yeah, even after being told, she still does it. And like she consciously, see, even there, she picks her foot up. So she's trying not to, and it's still happening. Tells me that that's just how she practices it. Now so Bonnie's the first one out, the one with the shuffle step. What is she waiting for? Get moving.
Maybe she felt bad, so she thought she'd wait for the other girl.
Yeah. And then that's Caroline right there.
Yes, you are correct.
So burpee broad jumps. Looks like Bonnie has a 2 second lead over Caroline. And then this other girl, Hannah Burgon, who was 3.5 minutes back after the sled pull, makes up a ton of time on that run and the burpee broad jumps and will come out of here a minute 39 back. So makes up almost 2 minutes between runs and burpees. That's crazy. I mean, she must have had a really hard time with the sleds. That's
All right,
this girl coming down to the burpees here.
Oh, okay.
We can start moving ahead, catch
Yeah, let's
the
do that.
leaders. All right, so here's the leader. She should be coming into the row now. So it looks like she put a little gap on Bonnie after leaving the burpees together, basically. Caroline comes into the row about 10 seconds ahead. Bonnie's taking a little bit of time to get into the rower, setting her feet right. That's going to take some time up. See how many strokes Caroline's getting in during that? So I didn't see them adjust their damper for the rower like they did for the
Yeah,
skier.
they all did it for the erg.
Let's see. Do you see the time? Is it too blurry? It says two something.
I thought it said
Looks like a two.
2:36, but it was very quick.
Oh, I thought it said two. Oh, 154. So Bonnie's pulling hard. She's trying to catch up. I thought I saw like a 205 or 208 on Caroline's. I'm not a I'm not a rower. I don't pretend to be a concept two rowing master. Especially after I saw how people got on Hunter when he posted his rowing technique video. But I'd say she might want to get a rowing coach. She's shorting her pole a lot. She's
Yeah, it's
going
interesting
for
because the ski erg she was shorting,
yeah.
and she has
So
long what do you
yeah,
call it?
she got long limbs, long levers, which you
Limbs.
probably
Yeah, she should be maximizing.
what you want to do, like on a rower, I've been taught before, is you want to go leg extension, hip extension, pull, right? And then on the way back, it's the exact opposite: arms, back, legs, right? And so you do that through the whole time. It looks like she's going legs and then pulling with her arms early, not getting the full stroke. Oh, it looks like Graham Holiday has joined us.
I can't see him yet.
Looks like he's in a car. Can you hear us, Graham? We can't hear him.
You're muted, Graham.
Just back to the women's race real fast. It looks like Hannah Burgon is in there now. She's about 2 minutes behind Caroline, and about a minute 45 behind Bonnie.
All right, I think Graham's going to rejoin us when he gets to the hotel. Let me know if you see him again.
Okay. Girls putting a lot of effort in. So I'll just move ahead here. So 207, 209, that's about what Caroline's pulling. So we saw at the beginning, Bonnie was pulling like a 153, 154. I wonder if I'll go show her splits now that they're further in. Oh, looks like Graham's back on. Can you hear us? Oh, he's off again. So it looks like Bonnie slowed down to about a 2 minute. I couldn't tell if that was like a 206 or a 202. Feed was just a little blurry. Oh, and Caroline's coming off the rower. So her total row time on this was for what? 4:38. And Bonnie's off right after her, 6 seconds back. So Bonnie made up what looks to be about 6 seconds.
Even with the messing with the shoes.
Yeah.
She got in
Even
there
with
10
messing with
seconds
the
after,
shoes.
messed with the shoes.
Yep. So it looks like the first two are off. In third place, Hannah Bergon will follow about 2 minutes after. So we skip ahead a little bit. They should be 3 minutes into their run. There's Caroline. Looks like she's going on her last loop right now. And we do not see Bonnie behind her. There she is. Ooh, it looks like she's laboring a little on that run. So the next thing they're going to be coming into is the farmer carry. So they'll come in on this farmer carry, which means they got 3 stations left, 2 runs, which could equate to about 20 minutes more of work, maybe a little bit less than 20 minutes, 18 minutes. And Caroline comes into the farmer carry at 51:31. Let's see if she put these down. I haven't watched this portion yet. So I'm gonna see if she ever puts them down. Looks like she's uh walking a little slow with them, not really in a hurry. But she's got them gripped. It looks like they are the regular competition kettlebells, not the cast iron ones with the fat grips. So that's good. Can't tell if she has her thumb wrapped around or on the outside. Followed by Bonnie. Bonnie's moving at a little bit quicker pace than Caroline on this. But again, we don't know who's going to set them down and who's not. So they're around the first curve. Ooh, it looks like it's getting a lot of strain on those shoulders. Looks like Caroline has about a 1 length lead. Don't know what these lengths are. Probably about 50 meters. Those kettlebells are getting towards the end of her grip there. She's going to set it down. I don't think she's going to make it unbroken. So coming into this station, she was 6 seconds back after the row, and she's 22 seconds back picking up the kettlebells. So we'll figure out where she gets to. Oh, and there
There
they
we go.
go. Kettlebells dropped. Oh, and we got Graham back. Graham, can you hear us now? We cannot hear you.
Come on, Graham. We're pulling for
Oh,
you,
she
buddy.
put him down again.
Oh, hello.
Oh, very muffled noise.
Very muffled, my friend.
So she
are they in your headphones or something?
uh it looks like, just back to the race real fast. It looks like Caroline went to the end of her grip and has started putting them down repeatedly now. So Bonnie looks like she might be gaining. I think you might be right, Matt. I think Graham's, oh, and they're both done. I think Graham's headphones are connected, and so he can't hear us, and we're really far away for him.
Oh, it is.
There we
Oh, there we
go.
go.
Oh, hello.
How
Can
are
you hear
you?
me? Sorry. I think that's me. I can hear you guys now.
Cool.
We can hear you too, buddy.
Very low. 2 seconds. I'll grab my earphones, see if it works better.
No, we sound you. You sound great.
Is that all right?
Yeah, you sound
Yep.
great.
Just struggling to hear yous. It's
Are
quite
we
low.
are we connected to your headphones at all? So we're far
Nah, it's
away.
just my phone.
Okay.
2 seconds. Does it work?
So let's speed up the women's here to the lunges, and we'll get to
Oh,
talk to Graham a
the
little.
lights went out.
Yeah, they had to like break up the live stream into two, and I don't think they saved it. So this is going to be the only view people get of the women's race, most likely.
Right, that's better for me. So I
Okay.
hear you better.
Can you see
Sorry.
this?
Yeah.
Can you see the sandbag lunges?
Can see them.
So we're watching the women's race right now. They're almost done, and then we'll head over to the men's race.
Uh-huh.
We don't know. Can you tell us, was the venue hot there?
It was quite hot, to be fair. Like, it was that way with your saliva's like turning white. It was
Yeah.
pretty hot.
So it was
But
moist.
the mate, what did you say? Sorry.
No, I was trying to listen to you.
It was proper hot. It was like as if you were in Spain. It was like I think it was 29 degrees here.
Oh wow.
So it was hot.
You have to
You think
convert that for us.
Fuck, I don't actually know. So what do you use? Fahrenheit?
if you double
It's like
it and
base.
add 20, if you double it and add about 29, Matt, usually it's 9/5 plus 32. So cool. Well, Graham, while we're watching the ladies here, do you know any of the ladies that are running this race? Did you get to
I
interact with
don't
them?
think so. I don't think I actually met anybody who won the ladies. I met a few from like the mixed doubles, and then I don't think I met the men's doubles either.
Okay.
So I missed this, but I've just heard complaints the full day about the sled pull.
Yeah. So we were looking, taking a look at just the times, and now the times don't tell the full story because if you have a tough sled pull, you know, it really affects you on the back end and your runs and everything else. But as far as the times go, it looked like there might have been some lanes that were better than others because
Uh-huh.
some of the men and women, like the top men and women, in terms of the sled pulls, were as fast or faster than the world championships in Manchester, but then there were some that were much slower.
Well, there was like, I'm sure there was three guys next to me, and they just dropped the rope and walked off right at the sled
Okay.
pulls. I felt like it myself. I felt
Yeah.
like just kind of, I was like, this is it. I don't think I'm going to be able to move this. And I'm like pretty strong right now, I'd say,
Yeah.
for HYROX.
So we were looking at it, compare your time, particularly in the sled pull, uh, and
It's terrible.
Martin's time in the sled pull. And so Martin did really well in the sled pull. He was 244.
244.
Yeah.
On the
So he
pull,
was,
was that the push?
oh, that was the push. Whoops, I'm on the wrong page. Yeah. Cool. Whoops. Yeah, so Martin was still second overall for all the men at the race in the sled pull was 409. And then yours was 521. So a minute
Shocking.
12 difference. Yeah.
Shocking. My head just went, and I was like, you know what? I'll just finish the race and plod kind of cruise through it.
Yeah.
Like it kind of demotivated me after that, but I thought I don't want to like set a bad example, so I thought I'll finish the race.
Yeah, I like that you finished it. That's great. So
Mm-hmm.
at Manchester, you pulled a 347. And like like we just said, your pull here was 5:21, so almost 2 minutes slower.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
So,
Hey,
uh,
can we? I want to back up quickly and kind of proper introduce our guest.
okay.
So Graham, fifth the world champs in 2023. You're the fastest Brit. You won Hanover last year. Did you win any other events?
I won Hanover, Glasgow, and Manchester.
And do you want to destroy James Kelly?
Destroy James Kelly. Why?
I don't know. I feel like he's pretty good. You're pretty good. I don't know.
Mm. Nah, I have no beef with James Kelly. Quite like James Kelly, but every athlete that's there, you kind of want to destroy them all. I suppose you want to beat them all, don't you?
Who's your biggest rival then? Is it Sandy?
Um, I don't know really. I've still kind of to find my feet in this sport and see who is my biggest rival. But I know who supports me and who doesn't support me.
Oh, okay. What's your athletic background prior to this? What were you doing in the world before you found HYROX?
Bodybuilding, there was nothing athletic about me. I was into bodybuilding, and that was it.
So you ended up fifth at the World Championships last year.
Hmm.
You're pretty good. You want to say you're pretty young, right? You're
So I'm
20 something?
29.
Oh,
29.
29. Okay. That's young. Under 30.
Still young.
Yep. If you could beat anybody in the top 15, who would you want to beat most?
Well, it would always be Hunter because he's got the best time. He's the top guy.
Exactly.
Everybody's shooting for him. He knows it.
Yep. Cool. So, okay. You and Sandy were the only UK athletes, Brits at the Manchester World Championships, right? Just based on flags. I'm
Uh-huh.
looking at the results.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it says where in the UK are you from?
Scotland,
You can't tell by that accent.
Glasgow.
Scottish.
You can't tell he's from Glasgow.
That was no bad.
So I was looking because there were four men in the top currently in the top 30 of the rankings who were at this race. Yourself included, Martin Machilius, uh, Peter Schiller, and Dieter Schwartzkopf,
Peter,
right?
I think he's one of the guys who walked off actually at the sled pull. He tried to move to another sled because his sled was like it was the same as mine. It wasn't moving. Like I think I pulled it and it moved like 2 inches, and I'm leaving like
Oh
choking
wow.
like proper. The first pull was like 2 inches, and I just looked at the judge and I was like, "Is this a joke?" But that is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, that's got to be demoralizing. Were the
Hmm.
ropes? One thing I had a question about is because of the heat that was in there, if it affected how much slack was in the rope when you were trying to pull it, so you weren't getting a lot of feedback from the sled.
That could have been a factor as well. Could have been a factor, but because it was so hot, that's the first time I've ever used chalk on a sled pull. I never used chalk on a sled pull, and then I had to step off at the side. I think I pulled it once, 12.5 meters, and then I had to grab some chalk for the side.
Okay.
But I think the slack could have been, but it was just heavy, and like I'm literally like almost near like the top tier strength that I've ever been at before. Like I'm like
Yeah.
5 kilos off my best back squat. So I don't know. I think it's HYROX there that's messed that one up.
Yeah, I can see that. How nitpicky was the judging between the wall balls and the lunges and the burpees on this race? Did you feel?
Uh, Probably for the pros a bit more like intense, like the top three guys I'd say. Maybe the burpees. The burpees were being quite strict on. The wall balls, I think I got like 15 no reps, and I never really get no reps, but that is what it is. I'm not going to moan about it. Like that's
Yeah.
just how it planned out. But maybe burpees and wall balls, I'd say was the one where like the judges were on it, and I don't know.
So when we get to it here, the men's race, I believe they don't show the second heat. They only show the first heat. And I think the winner
Mm-hmm.
came out of the second heat, right? Do you know the guy
It
that
was a
won,
second heat.
Eric?
I spoke to him after it, but I don't really know him well. I spoke to him after it. Seems like a nice guy. But I think his sled pull time is actually like pretty decent. I think he bet me by like a minute and 15, maybe,
Well,
maybe more.
when we get to the sleds, we can count the plates because we looked at it for the women's, and we can certainly count it for yours.
Uh-huh.
So one of
But
the things I heard about different venues is sometimes they have those little electrical outlets or panels that are in the ground and the
there was
carpet's
none of
over it.
them.
None of them?
There
Okay.
was none of them. It felt like, do you know what it felt like? See the carpet? It felt different. It didn't feel as flat. Like it felt as if it had a bit of height in the carpet. Do you know what I mean? Like as if it
Oh
was
yeah, like
stacked.
so
Like
like little
uh,
ridges and stuff and
that's the only way I can kind of explain it. It felt like a stacked carpet almost.
okay.
But
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking just now because you mentioned on the sled pull, the guy that won, Eric Woodward, he did a 4:11 on his sled pull. So he was only 2 seconds behind Martin,
mhm,
um, which looks like it's a minute 10 faster than how you pulled. So
mhm,
maybe, I mean, I did think going into this, you were one of the stronger athletes in the field. And
mhm.
so maybe there was a difference between the lanes and who was pulling what.
Can we talk
Um,
about these? Can we talk about these women here as we're finishing up? Because she's having a hard time with these water balls.
yeah. So she's gotten quite a few no reps so far, between missing the target and not going to depth. And you can see the judge is kind of getting on her. That's why I asked Graham how strict they were being with
Mhm.
it. Looks like so Caroline's the pink shirt. Definitely more of a runner, it looks like, just because kind of the way she's squatting there. It looks like that's a 50 reps in. And then there's Bonnie. Can't tell how many reps in she is.
52, 65.
So
I don't know.
uh was this a 4 lap course?
4 laps, and then your last lap was three and a bit
Three and a bit.
because the ball was like a different area. So it was in the same rock zone, had its own rock zone off to the side.
Yeah, sometimes they do that. Like different areas, they'll have the wall balls in a completely different place because they like to put the stage right by it. So there's
Uh-huh.
not room on the interior.
It's a good setup. I don't mind that, to
Yeah.
be fair. I think that's the second one of them. It's like that. Glasgow was like that as well.
Would you rather have a short first run or a short last run?
Short last run,
Yeah.
get the longer ones over and done with. I think most people would be the same.
Yeah. Get that
So is
when you
this,
have all that extra energy, get that faster run out of the
mhm,
way with the long one.
definitely. Is this the top two women here? As a
Yeah, so these are the top two women. It looks like they're about Bonnie looked like 70 something reps.
mhm.
Uh, I've only seen her break once so far. Oh, there's another break. So they're both
How are they
resting.
looking for times?
So the top woman went about a 70-minute, I believe. Let me pull that up. I can, since we're about to finish here, we'll tell their
Mhm.
times. So the top woman, Caroline, the girl in pink, ends up going 72:31. So 1 hour,
Uh,
12 minutes, and 31 seconds. And Bonnie Loman, the second place girl, ends up doing a 1:12:56. which is actually about 45-ish seconds, a PR for her.
Fair enough.
So this girl, Caroline, she's ran one other race before, and she was about a 108. So she's about 4 minutes slower on this course today than her previous race. And then there's Bonnie, and Bonnie is 45 seconds faster on this course than she was in her best race. And she's ran a few of them before. This is like her fourth or fifth. And then we have, I don't know if we want to, I don't know if this continues until the third place girl starts or finishes, but the girl that gets third ends up 1:18.24. So she's about 6 minutes back of them.